Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Mariam Gunavijaya. First up, here's a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the third consecutive year.
Election interference is an authoritarian move to undermine democracy. Lawyers Collective Sri Lanka issues statement. Presidential election must be held before the 17th of October, UNP Chairman Vajira Abewardhana says. What did Sarath Fonseca discuss with the president? Red light from SLPP to the president. Court of Appeal reverses decision to release 48 elephants to a group including Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Order for legal action to be instituted against those who had elephants in their possession.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the third consecutive year.
In your top story tonight, the Lawyers Collective Sri Lanka has stressed that interfering with the presidential, parliamentary and local government elections must be categorically rejected and condemned and seen for what it is, an authoritarian move to undermine democracy. They point out that democracy is essentially about people endorsing or rejecting the policies of any one president or parliament.
The Lawyers Collective Sri Lanka issued a statement today clarifying the facts surrounding the proposal to postpone the elections. The statement was signed by President's Councils Upul Jayasuriya, Dr. Jayampathy Wickramaratne, Dinal Phillips, Salia Piris, S.T. Jayanaga, Upul Kubara and Professor Deepika Udugama. In the statement, the Lawyers Collective said that the mass people's uprising, the Aragalaya, was a recall of the mandate given to all parliamentarians, particularly the members forming the two-thirds majority in parliament. The people signalled a complete lack of public confidence in the head of the executive and the government of the day. The statement adds that the current president, having taken office in this context, is duty-bound to uphold democracy and surrender to the sovereignty of the people. The statement highlighted that one of his key tasks ought to have been to restore legitimacy to these institutions of government without delay. According to the statement, instead, the president refused to hold the local government elections in 2023 and is steamrolling a legislative agenda that is repressive and authoritarian with the support of a legislative majority that has lost its legitimacy. Article 30 sub-article 2 states that the office of the president shall be for a period of 5 years. Article 62 sub-article 2 states that the term of any parliament shall be 5 years. Any change to the constitution to extend the term of one or either of these organs of the state require a constitutional amendment. Such a constitutional amendment would no doubt require a two-thirds majority in parliament and a referendum of the people, because it seeks to change the way in which the sovereignty of the people is expressed. The Lawyers Collective Sri Lanka stressed that it would be an amendment to fundamentally change the basic structure of the constitution. The statement added that such a proposal completely undermines the sovereignty of the people and is made in bad faith and in ignorance or deliberate dismissal of the constitution. The statement raises the question whether a two-thirds majority in parliament and a 50% plus one majority of the people can make any amendment of the constitution. The statement also raises the question, quote-unquote, is not the amending process governed also by the principle of constitutional morality? The Election Commission will be empowered to proclaim the date for the presidential election in 47 days.
UNP chairman Vajirabewardena stressed that the presidential election must be held before the 17th of October.
There's a presidential election coming up and it needs to be held before the 17th of October. The public is wondering if there is a suitable candidate in Sri Lanka. Look, people are shamelessly putting themselves forward. A person should only take on what they are capable of. Look at the ongoing elections in neighbouring India. Can Sri Lanka send someone who can stand up to Prime Minister Modi? If there is such a person, I'd like to know their name. The only one I know of in Sri Lanka is Ranil Wickremesinghe. We need to build on his work. The credit for completing it belongs to everyone, not just him. No one wants to do this alone. People who fail to fulfill their responsibility before are now saying that they can do it. I don't know how that's possible. So the breakaway faction of our party became the opposition. Remember, they were once part of the ruling party. These are some of the children Ranil Wickremesinghe raised, and now they say they can fix the country. It's absurd. That's why the Janata Vimukti Peramuna is the opposition party today. No argument there.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna said the party has no desire to delay the elections. The SLPP expressed these views at a media briefing today.
කවදාවත් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමාව ඡන්ද බලයකින් ඔය එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ කිසිම නායකයෙකුට ජනාධිපති කරන්න පුළුවන් කමක් ලැබුණේ නැහැ.
No one from the UNP has ever been able to make Ranil Wickremesinghe the president by votes. As the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, we are the ones who used 134 and made Ranil Wickremesinghe the president. That was due to several major issues in Sri Lanka at that time. We believe that he faced those issues successfully as they have been controlled to some extent today. Now what's essential is to ensure the democracy of the country. We are not happy about delaying the elections. We very clearly remind the president that you were appointed because of the economic and social issues at that time. We didn't give you the power to delay any election, including the presidential election. SLPP is not afraid even if the elections are held tomorrow.
හෙටද මැතිවරණයක් දෙන්නේ ඒක පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයද ඒක ජනාධිපති මැතිවරණයද දෙන්න අපිට මැතිවරණ අපි බලාගෙන ඉන්නෙත් මැතිවරණය දෙනකන් අපි බය නැහැ මැතිවරණ වලට
එහෙම ආණ්ඩුවට සහාය දෙන ගමන් ඔබතුමාලා ජනාධිපතිවරයාත් විවේචනය කරනවා මොකද්ද මේක
නෑ ජනාධිපතිවරයා තියා කවුරුණත් රටට අහිතකර වැරදි දෙයක් කරනවා නම් අපි ඒකට පක්ෂයක් හැටියට දැඩිව විරුද්ධ වෙනවා
එහෙනම් ආණ්ඩුවෙන් බහැලා යන්නකෝ
ඉතින් නෑ ඒක තමයි අපි මේ කරන්නේ වැරදි දෙයක් කරන්න ගියොත් වැරදි දේ කරන්න හදනකොට විරුද්ධ වෙනවා කරන්න ගියොත් ආණ්ඩුවෙන් බහැලා යනවා ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් කරනවා ඒක තමයි අපි මේ කරන්නේ
දැන් ඔබතුමාලා මැතිවරණය ඉල්ල කෑ ගහනවා නමුත් ජනතාව කියන දේ තමයි ඔබතුමාලට අපේක්ෂකෙක්වත් නැහැ
කවුද කියන්නේ අපිට අපේක්ෂකෙක් නැහැ කියලා ඒක ඔබ කියන කතාවක්
ඔබතුමාලට නැහැනේ ඉතින් ඉන්නවා නම් කියන්න
නැහැ ඉතින් අපි අපේක්ෂකයන් නිසි අවස්ථාවේදී අපිට අපේක්ෂකයෝ කීප දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා අපි ඒන් වඩාම සුදුසු ජයග්‍රහණය කරන්න පුළුවන් අපේක්ෂකයන් නිසි අවස්ථාවේදී නම් කරලා ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා.
Speaking at an event in Hambantota, opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that Sri Lanka requires practical programs to rebuild the nation.
The 22 million people of this bankrupt country need to understand, at least now, this country does not need braggarts. What this country needs are practical development programs. Today we are proud to say that we are fulfilling our duties even without power. We initiated and completed the work of exposing the thieves sitting in the opposition. Our Law Society and Intelligence Center went to the Supreme Court and obtained a partially favorable decision against the leaders who bankrupted this country. We took the decision to fight for the violation of fundamental rights on behalf of the ordinary people of the country. That is why our country does not need fake politics. We need working, serving and development.
A delegation from the National People's Power called on the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka in Colombo. The delegation from the NPP included Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Sunil Handulnetti, MP Vijita Herath and Vasanta Samarasinghe. Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa posted on X said that they discussed about the current political issues and the Indo-Lanka bilateral initiatives. The Indian High Commission said that the High Commissioner Santosh Jha interacted with JP leaders and briefed them about various bilateral initiatives between India and Sri Lanka and developments in India. The Kadwala District Court today decided that the Sri Lanka Freedom Party Executive Council meeting, during which Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa was appointed acting chairman of the SLFP and Kirti Udawatta was named acting secretary, was illegal. Accordingly, the injunction order issued against 20 persons, including acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva, preventing them from obstructing Rajapaksa and Udawatta from carrying out their duties, was also lifted. Kadwala District Judge Dulani Vikramasuriya, who issued the order, adjourned the hearing to the 12th of June.
Another phase of the protest against corrupt politics under the leadership of Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca was held in Kurunegala today. It was held under the theme Nirayuda Aragalayen Janata Viplawayak, loosely translated to unarmed struggle towards a people's revolution.
නෑ තාම ඉතින් ජනාධිපතිවරණයක්වත් මොන මැතිවරණයක්වත් ප්‍රකාශ කළා නෑනේ. ඒකාන්ත අපේක්ෂකයා වෙන්නේ කොහෙන්ද මොනවද කරන්න කියන එක මට තාම අදාළ නෑ. නමුත් රටේ ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් මේ පණිවිඩයක් ගෙනියන එක තමයි අපි මේ වෙලාවේ කරන්නේ. ඒක වගේ පුද්ගලික වැඩක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක මේ දේශපාලනයක් නෙවෙයි. නීතිමය කරුණක් ගැන. එතුමා මුදල් ඇමති මමයි අතරේ නීතිමය කරුණක් ගැන වෙන සාකච්ඡාවක් පවණයි. මෙමය මේ වෙලාවේ එතුමා කරන සමහර දේවල් මම අනුමත කළා නෑ. ඒකාන්ත මම මගේ මතය ප්‍රකාශ කළා තියෙනවා. ඒකාන්ත පක්ෂය ඇතුලේ අර්බුදයක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා. දූෂිතේව පක්ෂයට ඒම ගැන මම විරුද්ධත්වය ප්‍රකාශ කළා තියෙනවා. ඒ අර්බුදේ තාමත් දඩු ළමින් ගිනි ඇවිලමින් පවතිනවා.
The Colombo High Court acquitted former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral today in a case related to investing in Greek bonds.
The case was filed by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, alleging that the government suffered a loss of 1.84 billion rupees by investing in Greek bonds in 2012. Another 4 individuals named as defendants in the case, along with former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral, were also acquitted today. They were acquitted of the relevant charges after considering preliminary objections filed by the defense attorneys. They pointed out that this case was filed 10 years after the Supreme Court issued a determination regarding the incident. The defense attorneys also pointed out that the Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption had signed the charge sheet before he was appointed to the post. After considering these facts, the court ordered the accused to be acquitted from the case.
මේ රටේ පාලනය දැන් අපේ රටේ නායකයන්ගෙන් ගිලිහි ගිලා තියෙනවා. දැන් මේ පාලනය කරන්නේ IMF එකට අවශ්‍ය විදියට. ඒ අය තමයි මූල්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්ති පොලි අනුපාත ගැන තීරණ ගන්න. අපිට ඒව ගැන තීරණය ගැනීමේ හැකියාවක් හෝ ස්වාධීනත්වයක් නැහැ.
ඉදිරියේදී තවත් ඔබතුමා කියන ආර්ථික වශයෙන් රට වැටේ කියලා තමයි යන විදිය.
මම කියන්නේ මේ යන ගමන ගැන මට පැහැදීමක් නැහැ.
මේ ඉදිරියේදී දේශපාලනයට එන්න හිතන අයගෙන් යම් කිසි කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද මේ රට හදන්න පුළුවන්?
මට පේන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද දැන් අපි බලන්න ඕනේ ඇමරිකාවට පත් වෙන්නේ කවුද කියලා. IMF එකේ මැනේජින් ඩිරෙක්ටර් වෙන්නේ කවුද කියලා තමයි අපි බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒ අයගේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිනේ දැන් ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ අයගේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා නම් මෙහෙ කවුරු ආවත් ඒ අයට බලයක් නැහැ.
මේ තත්ත්වයට වැටලා තියෙන එකට කලින් හිටිය අය වගේ කියන්න ඕනේ නැද්ද?
විජේ කුමාරයා ඉඳලාම වගේ කියන්න ඕනේ. එතනින්ද බලන්න.
The Supreme Court today held that the fundamental rights of the wife, mother and child of the driver of parliamentarian Partly Champika Ranavaka had been violated by the Colombo Crimes Division.
The judgment was delivered in a petition filed against the summoning of the wife, mother and child of the driver of parliamentarian Partly Champika Ranavaka and interrogating them for hours, forcing them to reveal the location of the driver following an accident that occurred in 2016. The petition was taken up before a bench comprising of Justices Ajnobe Sekara, Mahinda Samewardana and S. Raja. The Supreme Court ordered for the acting director of the Colombo Crimes Division at the time, Neville Silva, and Chief Police Inspector A. Methananda to pay a sum of 250,000 rupees each to the victims from their personal funds. The court further ordered for the state to pay a sum of 10,000 rupees to the victims. The Supreme Court also directed the Police Commission to take disciplinary action against the 2 police officers.
The judgment in this case is very important for the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution and especially Articles 13(1) and 13(2) regarding illegal arrests and detention.
The Court of Appeal today ordered the Director General of Wildlife, the Attorney General and the Criminal Investigations Department to take action against several individuals who were in possession of tamed elephants without any registration.
The Court of Appeal today quashed the Gazette notification releasing 48 elephants and allowing for them to be registered under the name of several individuals, including Gotabe Rajapaksa. The Court of Appeal today pronounced judgment on a petition filed by several organizations, including the Centre for Eco-Cultural Studies. The petition was taken up before a bench comprising of Justices Sobhita Rajakaruna and Dhammika Ganepola. The fact that these elephants, who were illegally held by several individuals, were allowed to be registered under their names also drew strong condemnation from the justices of the Court of Appeal. Thereby, the Court of Appeal today reversed the orders issued by the Colombo and Mathale Magistrates Court directing the Department of Wildlife to release the elephants back to those who had custody of them without any permits. The Court of Appeal also issued another order preventing public officers from taking any decision to hand over the custody of the elephants back to these individuals.
On the
19th of August 2021, a new gazette was issued regarding registrations of elephants. We pointed out to the court that this new gazette allowed those who were illegally in possession of elephants to register the elephants under their names. The Court of Appeal accepted our position and quashed regulations 51, 52, 61, 62, 63, 71, 72 and 73. Not only that, the Court of Appeal also suspended the registration of elephants who were not registered previously under the new gazette.
A panel of lawyers including President's Counsel Sanjeeva Jayawardena and Senior Counsel Ravindranath Dabre appeared for the petitioners.
Imagine this. Little faces, bright and curious, but clouded by a struggle most of us take for granted. The thirst that lingers, not just for knowledge, but for a sip of clean water.
Here's the story of students at the Nikapotha Mahavidyalaya in Haldamulla, Haputale. Their little hands gripping pencils, their minds yearning to learn, but their bodies weighed down by a constant dryness. Imagine the disappointment in their eyes when even the simplest act of getting clean drinking water becomes a challenge. This is the reality for over 250 children at the Nikapotha Mahavidyalaya in Haldamulla, Haputale. This isn't just an inconvenience, it is a constant battle that steals their focus. The Gammatha movement, Sri Lanka's most impactful rural development movement, has heard their silent plea. The foundation stone for a brand new water purification system was laid today. Thanks to the support of the Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka, Gammatha is bringing life-giving water to the Nikapotha Mahavidyalaya.
Because of our profession, we spend a lot of our life 35 to 40,000 feet in the sky. Also, when we fly an aircraft to a foreign country, we have to stay there for a few days. Legally, we cannot fly back on the same plane to the country. Therefore, pilots spend very little time in Sri Lanka. Therefore, it is hard for us to engage in social work alone. Today, I am the only person here from our organization. All of the others are working. They are either in the sky or in some other country. So, do we not do social work or find a solution to it? We chose Gammatha. We chose Gammatha because we have a strong faith that Gammatha is performing their duties honestly.
This isn't just about pipes and valves, it's about nurturing dreams. With access to clean water and proper sanitation, these children can finally focus on what truly matters: learning,
growing and reaching for their stars.
News First with the people.
The 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination results have been released.
The results of the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination can be obtained from the official website of the Department of Examinations www.doenets.lk. The 2023 GCE A-Level Examination was held from the 4th January to the 31st January 2024. 269,613 candidates sat for the examination, while 173,444 have qualified for university admission. The Department of Examinations announced that applications will be open for the recorrection of results from the 5th to the 19th June.
Teacher principal unions launched a coordinated sick leave action yesterday, which concluded today. The National Union Against Teacher Principal Salary Anomalies said it will meet tomorrow to decide on further action.
The striking teachers and principals demanded that their unrevised salaries from the salary revision in 1997 be adjusted accordingly. Due to the strike, operations in some schools across Sri Lanka were hampered today as well. At Dudley Senanayake College, Colombo 5, teachers did not report for work today and students were absent. There were reports of low teacher and student attendance in some schools in Galle. Newsfirst correspondent in Trincomalee reported operations were conducted as usual in many schools today. Newsfirst correspondent in Mathura indicated a lack of attendance from both teachers and students in some schools.
Except for schools holding term exams, all schools have joined this trade union action, disrupting studies nationwide. We will decide the next steps tomorrow after talks with teacher unions and activists. Roughly 75 to 80% of teachers were on sick leave yesterday. The teachers did the same yesterday, showing support for our fight.
The Ceylon Teachers Union has not expressed support for this trade union action.
Teacher absences are normally around 15%, excluding official leave for events. That is allocated as official leave. Fewer came to work strike on the 29th. Attendance increased on the 30th and 31st. So what is the impact of the strike?
This was the response of the National Collective Against Teachers and Principals Salary Anomalies.
The ministry's attempt to grant excessive privileges to these so-called professional associations further exposes its incompetence. These associations, despite their name, do not represent teachers or principals.
This is what the Minister of Education had to say.
Yesterday across Sri Lanka, 75% of teachers were confirmed to be in attendance. Schools functioned normally, with children also present. For the first time, the government will allocate between 32 and 35 billion rupees to address the 2022 teacher salary anomalies. By today, this amount is expected to exceed 40 billion rupees. The recent allocation of 180 billion rupees from the last budget to cover the 10,000 rupee allowance unfortunately leaves no room for an additional 40 billion rupee allocation for teacher salary anomalies in this year's budget. Trade unions have been informed of this limitation.
Today marks the 30th day since the university non-academic staff launched a strike over several concerns, including salary anomalies. The non-academic staff's demands include the reinstatement of the previously agreed upon monthly allowance and the reversal of the 15% salary reduction implemented in 2016. The non-academic staff at the University of Ruhuna held a protest today.
We request the issuance of the circulars increasing our monthly allowance. We urge the government to grant the Joint Committee of University Trade Unions an opportunity for discussion. Appointing committees without such discussions will not provide any viable intermediate solutions. Universities can only reopen tomorrow if this circular is issued. Otherwise, the strike will continue.
Meanwhile, State Minister of Higher Education Dr. Suren Raghavan said that he will hold a discussion next Monday with university non-academic staff unions who are currently on strike.
We are having discussions with senior officials from the Treasury, the two state ministers Shrihant Semasinghe and Siamala Pittiya on how we can solve this issue financially. Yesterday I had discussions with the leaders of trade unions over the phone about this matter, and we are planning to hold a meeting on Monday. My opinion is that we should resolve this matter through an intermediate path. The government cannot say that they defeated the unions. I don't believe that myself. Our ministers and even the president is of that stance.
Sirasa FM once again emerged a winner on the international stage. This recognition came at the 2024 Asia Pacific Regional Broadcasting Awards held in Singapore.
Sirasa FM has once again been recognized on the international stage for its innovative approach to radio broadcasting. At yesterday's 2024 Asia Pacific Regional Broadcasting Awards held in Singapore, Sirasa FM was awarded the prestigious title of Best Audio and Visual Channel in the Asia Pacific region.
NBC Networks Private Limited's Sirasa FM.
This award acknowledges Sirasa FM's groundbreaking radio scene concept, which uses cutting-edge technology to transform the traditional audio experience into an engaging visual one. Through radio scene, listeners can not only tune in to their favorite shows, but also watch the presenters and even the music come alive. This unique concept sets Sirasa TV apart from the competition and provides a truly immersive radio experience. With this win, Sirasa FM cements its place as a radio innovator, not just in Sri Lanka, but across the entire Asia Pacific region. A Manhattan jury found Donald Trump guilty of all 34 counts of falsifying business records in his hush money criminal trial, an unprecedented and historic verdict that makes him the first former president in the US history to be convicted of a felony. A New York jury convicting Donald Trump on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records brought the former president's weeks-long trial to a close but ushered in a new phase of the historic case. Trump was first indicted in March 2023 by the Manhattan District Attorney on state charges related to a hush money payment to an adult film star in 2016. Prosecutors alleged Trump was part of an illegal conspiracy to undermine the integrity of the 2016 election. Further, they alleged he was part of an unlawful plan to suppress negative information, including the $130,000 payment. Now, in the unique position of being the first former US president convicted of a felony, Trump faces the possibility of a prison sentence or probation for his crimes stemming from a hush money payment scheme he helped facilitate ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Trump, who is known for mounting lengthy appeals of court rulings against him, is also likely to appeal the conviction, which could significantly delay his sentencing, currently set for the 11th of July. Here is what you need to know about the case following Trump's conviction.
When will Trump be sentenced?
The judge has set Trump's sentencing for 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 11th of July. For now, the former president will remain out of prison as he awaits his sentencing, and prosecutors did not ask for Trump to post any bond.
Can Trump appeal his conviction?
Shortly after Trump was convicted, his attorney asked the judge for an acquittal of the charges notwithstanding the guilty verdict. The judge rejected the pro forma request.
Can Trump still be elected president?
Nothing in the US Constitution bars a convicted criminal from running for the nation's highest office. The Constitution contains only limited qualifications for running for office, such as being at least 35 years old, a natural-born citizen, and at least 14 years a resident of the US.
Will the conviction cost Trump his right to vote?
Trump is a Florida resident. When it comes to the Manhattan guilty verdict just rendered, Trump's right to vote in Florida in November's election will depend on whether he is sentenced to a term in prison and if he has finished serving the prison sentence by the time of the election. Florida's felon voting prohibitions apply to people with out-of-state convictions. However, if a Floridian's conviction is out of state, Florida defers to that state's law for how felon can regain their voting rights. The hush money criminal case against former President Donald Trump was only one of 4 criminal cases he is juggling while running again for president. The former president still faces criminal indictments in Georgia, Washington, D.C. and Florida. Trump has pleaded not guilty to every charge in these cases.
Valuable Finance was awarded the Best Finance Company for the 3rd consecutive year.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has revised its fuel prices and will come into effect for midnight today. A litre of 92-octane petrol has been reduced by 13 rupees and a litre will now cost 355 rupees. A litre of Lanka auto diesel has been reduced by 16 rupees and will cost 317 rupees. A litre of kerosene oil has been reduced by 13 rupees to 202 rupees. The price of a litre of 95-octane petrol and super diesel remain at 420 rupees and 377 rupees respectively. The Vehicle Importers Association of Sri Lanka says that the policy followed by the government over the relaxation of vehicle import restrictions is questionable.
Local assembly තමයි ලොකුවටම යන්නේ. ඒකට 130ක තමයි duty.
A 30% duty is levied by local assemblers, leading to a dollar outflow for this levy. However, this raises concerns for us. These institutions, maintained by local assemblers for over 20 years, haven't exported a single vehicle to date, suggesting a lack of proper management. In contrast, importing vehicles would generate significantly higher tax revenue for the government, potentially reaching 200 to 250%. This situation presents a dilemma for our industry.
ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේදී මේක අරින්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. දැන් මේක අපිට එක්තරා ගැටලුවක් මොකද්ද මේ වෙන්නේ කියන්නේ.
A memorial service was held today to honor the late ambassador of France to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Jean-François Pactet. A memorial service was held today to honor the late ambassador of France to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Jean-François Pactet. The service took place at St. Mary's Church in Colombo. Apostolic Nuncio of the Holy See to Sri Lanka, Brian Udaigwe, led the ceremony.
Ambassador Pactet, his skilled professionalism and dignified demeanor, served with distinction and dedication. He played a pivotal role in strengthening the bonds of friendship and cooperation between France and Sri Lanka. His commitment to enhancing the bilateral relations, promoting collaboration in multiple areas, and fostering mutual understanding has left an indelible mark on our diplomatic journey. As we honor the legacy of this distinguished diplomat, we commend his exceptional ability to conduct diplomatic affairs with grace and respect for our nation's sovereignty and dignity. His approach to diplomacy was characterized by genuine partnership and cooperation, always seeking to strengthen our bilateral relationship without overstepping the boundaries. His respectful demeanor and commitment to non-interference of our internal matters earned him the admiration and trust of our nation. His legacy stands as a testament to the power of diplomacy, grounded on mutual respect and collaboration.
I would like to thank the diplomat corps, representatives of the international organization and his friends for sharing their thoughts with us. He was very dedicated ambassador and very involved alongside his team. He was very much engaged in strengthening the bilateral relations. Thanks to the initiative, the French embassy was able to organize the historical visit of the President Emmanuel Macron in Colombo. His commitment in organizing the 75th celebration of the diplomatic relation and the first political dialogue between Sri Lanka and France last year were remarkable. He played a very active role in the enhancement of the Franco-Sri Lankan relation in the fields of politics, economy, cultural development and maritime security. He had a great attachment to Sri Lanka, which went beyond his mission as ambassador. He was keen and curious in discovering this country.
The service drew a large crowd with many dignitaries in attendance, including diplomats and high-ranking officials.
Up next is the World to Road Cup.
The ICC T20 World Cup.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of.
The West Indies, two-time T20 World Cup champions, are gearing up to co-host the prestigious tournament this year. Cricket fans across the islands can look forward to thrilling matches played across 6 stunning stadiums. Kensington Oval in Barbados boasts the highest seating capacity, accommodating an impressive 28,000 spectators. This historic ground will undoubtedly witness electrifying clashes during the tournament. For fans seeking a more intimate atmosphere, Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua offers the lowest seating capacity among the chosen venues. Beyond these two, the T20 World Cup will also take centre stage at Providence Stadium in Guyana, Darren Sammy Cricket Ground in St. Lucia, Arnold's Wells Stadium in Kingstown and Brian Lara Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago.
Because life is giving and taking, unity and enough collaborating. You see the boundaries that we break when we should have been celebrating.
2 days.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight.
Thank you very much for watching. Good night.